You ever wonder why two people can go through the exact same situation, and one is completely calm, while the other explodes with anger? Same stimulus, two completely different outcomes. It's not the event. It's not the words someone says. It's the asterisk meaning asterisk we attach to it. That's the secret most people never realize. The way you feel, the emotions you experience, especially the negative ones like anger, irritation, frustration, they're not being handed to you by someone else. Asterisk, you're creating them asterisk, moment by moment, through your interpretation of reality. Let me be clear, anger doesn't just show up on its own. It's not floating in the air, waiting to land on you. Anger is manufactured in the space between what happens and what you decide it means. That gap, that split second where your brain processes what someone did or said, is where the entire emotional experience is born. And here's the truth. You have control over that space. You always did. Most people are just never trained to use asterisk it. Let's say someone ignores your message or they talk over you in a conversation. Your default might be asterisk, they don't respect me, they're trying to undermine me, they don't care, asterisk boom. Anger, frustration, a hit to your identity. But what if you paused just for a moment and said, asterisk, wait, what else could this mean? Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're unconscious of how they come across. Maybe this has nothing to do with me at all. Asterisk, you've just changed the entire emotional outcome by asterisk choosing asterisk a different interpretation. Not by being naive, not by letting people walk all over you, but by owning your response. This isn't some abstract theory. This is asterisk emotional mastery asterisk. This is how you build inner freedom, by refusing to be a puppet controlled by external events. Because every time you get angry over someone's behavior, you're handing them the keys to your nervous system. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to let someone who doesn't even respect themselves dictate how I feel. That's not strength. That's surrender. Think of it like this. Your mind is a meaning-making machine. Every moment it's filtering, judging, defining, labeling, and it does this based on your past conditioning, your childhood, your wounds, your beliefs. Most people walk around reacting to life based on interpretations they didn't even choose. They inherited them. They absorbed them, and now those old patterns are running the show. Someone raises their voice, it triggers your past. Someone disagrees with you, it threatens your ego. But if you can interrupt that pattern, and if you can insert awareness into that automatic loop, you begin to break the cycle. Now, I'm not saying you suppress how you feel. I'm not saying you pretend that disrespect or abuse doesn't exist. What I am saying is that not every action requires your emotional investment. Not every offense deserves a reaction. Sometimes the highest form of strength is neutrality. Not indifference, not coldness, but the power to observe without instantly absorbing. That is real maturity. The Stoics had a word for this. Apatheia, not apathy in the modern sense, but a profound inner calm born from self, discipline, and clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That's timeless wisdom, and neuroscience backs it up. Your brain can be rewired. Your emotional responses can be retrained. You are not a slave to your instincts, you're the architect of your inner world. The challenge is, this requires awareness. You can't change a pattern you don't recognize. So the next time something or someone starts to pull you into that old, familiar rage or resentment, pause. Catch yourself. Ask what story am I telling myself right now? What am I making this mean? That one question, that moment of reflection, can be the difference between spiraling and staying centered. Here's the bottom line. Peace is not something you stumble upon when life finally calms down. Peace is a skill. It's trained, and the first step to mastering it is understanding that meaning is a choice. No one can make you angry without your psychological participation. And once you grasp that, once you own it, not just intellectually, but emotionally, you become free in a way most people will never understand. Remember this. It's not about controlling the world. It's about mastering the meaning. And when you master the meaning, you master yourself. Let me tell you something that might sting a little at first, but it'll set you free once you truly absorb it. If someone else can make you feel disrespected, insulted, or unworthy, it's not really about them. It's about the part of you that's still waiting for validation. The part of you that hasn't fully healed. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The version of you that gets offended is the version of you that still needs to grow. See, most people walk through life taking everything personally. Someone doesn't say hi back, it's an attack. Someone gives feedback, it's criticism. Someone pulls away, it's rejection. And they internalize all of that, thinking it means they're not good enough, not seen, not respected. But what they don't realize is none of that is about them. People are projecting their own pain, insecurities, moods, and distractions. They're not thinking about you as much as you think they are. When you start to internalize that, really live from that understanding, something incredible happens. You become immune to other people's behavior. Not because you don't feel, not because you're cold, but because you've disconnected your identity from their actions. Their bad day doesn't have to become your bad day. Their lack of emotional maturity doesn't have to pull you into a storm. You've separated your self-worth from their opinion, and that is a form of psychological liberation most people never experience. Now, let's take this deeper. Why do people get so easily triggered? Why do small things turn into big emotional reactions? It's the ego. The ego is obsessed with defending an identity. It needs to be liked, admired, approved of. It takes everything as a threat. It can't tolerate being misunderstood, criticized, or challenged. So when someone cuts you off in traffic, the ego screams, they disrespected me. When someone forgets your birthday, it cries, they don't care. But that's the trap. That's the illusion. The ego turns everything into a story about you. And 99% of the time, that story is not even close to the truth. But when you start to operate from a place of deeper self-awareness, you see through that illusion. You realize that other people's behavior is a mirror of them, not a measurement of you. Their disrespect is a reflection of their values. Their rudeness is a reflection of their stress. Their silence is a reflection of their own internal chaos. You just happen to be in the room when it spills over. That's why the strongest people, the ones who are truly powerful, don't react. They observe, they understand that nothing others do can touch who they really are. They don't need to defend themselves because they're not being attacked. They don't need to prove their worth because they already know it. That's what it means to build an unshakable identity one that's not built on applause or attention, but on purpose and inner alignment. Think about this. If someone calls you a name and it hurts, it's not the word that caused the pain, it's the belief behind it. Somewhere, a part of you believes it might be true. That's the access point. That's where the work is. That's the part of you that's still under construction. And that's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to lean into. Because when you heal that, when you resolve those old wounds, people lose the ability to manipulate your emotions. They lose the ability to hook you. And let me be clear again, this isn't about tolerating mistreatment. This isn't about being passive. This is about choosing when to engage and when to walk away, not because you're afraid, but because you're focused. Because you've got better things to do than to argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. That's not avoidance, that's evolution. So how do you get there? You train it like a muscle. You start catching yourself in those emotional spikes. You ask asterisk, what part of me is feeling threatened right now? Asterisk, and you breathe. You remind yourself that your identity isn't up for negotiation every time someone has an opinion. You affirm that your worth isn't found in how people treat you. It's found in how asterisk you asterisk treat yourself. This isn't a switch, it's a practice, but with repetition, with awareness, you start to feel it, that inner stillness. That moment when someone says something outrageous and instead of reacting, you just asterisk see it asterisk, you see their pain. You see their patterns, and you just smile not out of arrogance, but out of understanding. Because now, you're no longer controlled. You're free. Asterisk asterisk, here's the truth you need to remember. When your identity is rooted in purpose, not approval, you become untouchable. Asterisk asterisk, there's a moment, a tiny fraction of a second, between what happens to you and how you respond. That moment is everything. That's where your power lies, and most people give that moment away without even realizing it. They react, they lash out, they let their emotions take the wheel. But here's the truth. The most powerful people you've ever met, the ones who walk into a room and command respect without saying a word, they've mastered that moment. They don't just react, they asterisk respond asterisk, with intention, with clarity, with discipline. See, anyone can get angry. That's easy. Anyone can raise their voice, shoot off a text, slam a door, or make a passive-aggressive comment. But real strength, the kind that lasts, isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling asterisk yourself asterisk. And that starts by transcending the ego, because your ego is the one that wants to prove a point. Your ego is the one that gets offended, that needs to win, that needs everyone to know you were right. But your highest self, it doesn't care about any of that. It's too busy being free. Let's get real for a second. You can't go through life without being challenged. People are going to test your patience. They're going to say things, do things, asterisk, not asterisk, do things. You're going to feel disrespected, overlooked, misunderstood. But what if I told you that none of those things have the power to disturb your peace asterisk, unless you give them permission asterisk? What if the key to never being bothered is not in changing the world, but in mastering your internal world? This isn't about suppressing how you feel. This isn't about pretending you're okay when you're not. It's about creating enough inner space that you can asterisk observe asterisk your emotions without being asterisk owned asterisk by them. That's emotional intelligence. That's what self-mastery looks like. You feel the heat rising in your chest. You don't ignore it. You asterisk notice asterisk it. You pause, you breathe. You ask yourself asterisk, what outcome do I actually want here? Asterisk not asterisk. How do I win? Asterisk not asterisk. How do I make them feel what I feel? Asterisk but asterisk. How do I move through this with strength? Asterisk, because here's the deal. If someone can make you explode with a look, a comment, or a tone of voice, asterisk, they control you asterisk. And if you need them to behave perfectly for you to feel peace, asterisk, you're a prisoner asterisk. But when you learn how to hold yourself, to regulate, to pause, to asterisk, not flinch asterisk, you become the kind of person who can walk through chaos without being pulled into it. That's what unshakable looks like. That's what maturity looks like. Let me give you a metaphor. Think of a glass of muddy water. If you keep stirring it, shaking it, reacting to it, it stays cloudy. But if you let it sit still, the dirt settles. The water becomes clear. That's your mind. That's your emotional state. The more you react, the cloudier it gets. But if you can be still, if you can wait, If you can asterisk watch asterisk rather than immediately asterisk strike asterisk, you'll see what's really happening. You'll make better decisions, you'll keep your power, and let me tell you something, silence is not weakness. It's strategy. Stillness is not passivity, it's precision. You don't always need to speak. You don't always need to defend yourself. The most powerful response to someone trying to trigger you is no response at all. Not because you're scared, but because you're not available for emotional chaos anymore. You've graduated, you've evolved, and this shift, it's not just psychological, it's spiritual. Because when you stop reacting to everything, you begin to asterisk witness asterisk everything. You're not tangled in the drama. You're not enslaved by your impulses. You rise above, you lead yourself, and when you lead yourself, you can lead your life. This doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you address it from asterisk centeredness asterisk, not from emotional chaos. You handle conflict like a leader, not a reactor. You assert boundaries without yelling. You walk away when needed without guilt. Because you know that your peace is more valuable than your pride. So next time you feel the anger coming, the heat, the need to prove, the desire to clap back, pause. Remember who you are, remember what you're building, and ask yourself, asterisk, do I want to react out of ego or respond from power? Asterisk, 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 you don't rise by controlling others. You rise by mastering yourself. In stillness, there is strength. In silence, there is strategy, and in that pause, you reclaim your power. Asterisk, asterisk.